Resilience to me, it's all about the mistakes you make, and it's actually about how those scars shape you. Because I think without those sort of, well, for me at least, my experience has been whenever I really screw things up, it actually takes me a few times for those scars and those mistakes to really be ingrained in who I am as a person. And it's how you mature from that. It's how you grow and you use that. For me, it's been a year since I've drunk a drop of alcohol, or over a year now. And I guess since that period of giving up alcohol, it took 3 or 4 big sort of stuff ups, and a lot of pain, a lot of broken friendships and relationships, before I sort of realised that alcohol was really not helping anything. One of my friends that I met a couple of years ago, me and him, we have very similar backgrounds in the sense that we both grew up in the care system. But for me, I had parents who were extremely loving, and he had parents who were never there, and he really struggled through that whole process to the stage where, suicidality and stuff. When he was sort of lost and almost homeless, and came down with his last sort of $50 to catch a cheap bus ride down to Wellington, and he stayed at my tiny little apartment at my halls of residence, and I fed him and hung out with him, gave him someone to talk to, and pretty much brought him back, and took about a week or two before he all of a sudden just found a way, found the courage, and set off and went and talked to other people, and now he's flourishing, and he's trying to get me to sign off on a testimony so that he can go and speak at a conference that looks at mental health services, which is absolutely inspiring. To feel comfortable and happy, I need to have a really strong sense of purpose. I need to know why I'm here, because if I don't have that, then I don't feel like I can never really fully commit to what I'm doing. I work for Oranga Tamariki, which is replaced SIFs, basically. And every day, I just remind myself of the fact that I've had a care experience that was really good, and that there were a lot of kids, particularly my brothers and sisters, who didn't have the same experience that I did. And the reason I'm there is to make sure that they are loved, that they have a good sense of principle, they know why, they know what is good and what is healthy, because love is amazing, but having a moral compass and having someone to mentor you through all the trials and tribulations that is growing up is also extremely important. So that's my purpose. My purpose of going to work, working for children, is to make sure they grow up with this, pretty much at a minimum, the same love and compassion that I grew up with. That's why I do what I do. My family is 1000% the most important thing in my whole life. And that is probably, I've asked a lot of people that question of what's the most important thing in the world to you and why. That's the most commonly answered question. Commonly answered answer. And I guess the reason why it is for me is because I know that my family, well, my adoptive mum, without the decision making that she made when I was 8 months old to take me in, without the love and compassion and all the redirecting and guidance and all the bullshit she had to put up with bringing me up, and still puts up with, whenever I call her and say, hey look mum, I'm low on money, or hey mum, I kind of don't know what to do, this girl's really nice, what do I do? All this sort of stuff is pretty, for me, the only reason she comes to these things, the only reason she gives me what I need in order to, buy more chocolate, or do all the stuff that I get up to. The only reason she gets on the plane to come down to Christchurch and bail me out of jail, or catch the ferry to come and bail me out of jail as well in Wellington, is because she loves me. It's that simple.
Yeah.
Because she has a very strong sense of purpose. She's doing it for her kids. If she didn't have a sense of value, if my dad didn't have a sense of knowing why they find their kids so important, then they would have visited me in jail and said, you fucked up, you naughty boy,
Yep.
giving me a slap around the ears. But instead, they just said, look, hug me. And they didn't come in with judgment or remarks. They came in to know how they can help. And that actually is so important. One piece of advice I would give to anyone who is struggling is externalize a lot. Get into the habit of just asking 25 people the answer to your question, the answer to what you're struggling. Just tell them everything that's going on, everything. Because if you leave anything out, what happens is you end up having to untangle that later down the track, and it's more painful. What you need to do is you need to try and let them know why you need help. And depending on their answer will depend on how much they actually care about you. And if they really do care, and most people do care quite strongly, they'll help you. So I would say ask a lot of people for help, because that's generally what I do. And by the time I get my help, they've got 25 people asking, oh, how did you go? How'd you get on? And by that stage, I've asked another 25 people about the next question that I had to deal with.